Talk to us about your
Well,
fighter for people that don't know about Francisco.
I'm sorry?
Talk to us about Francisco for people that don't know about Francisco Vargas. You know, he has a fight coming up in August. You know, kind of let the listeners know about this kid and what they should expect from him.
Yeah, he's a 2008 Mexican Olympian. He got disqualified in the second round, but you know he fared well. He had over 150 amateur fights. He was a 9-time national champion. He's 16-0 as a pro with 13 knockouts with a devastating body punch. He's got about 80% on body punch knockout ratio. Yeah, he is fighting August 9th at the Fantasy Springs Casino against the untouchable Brandon Bennett, which he is 15-0 with 7 KOs. Kid out of Cincinnati. In the Adrian Broner camp. I guess he's one of the band camp members, if you will.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think just looking at the overall record of Vargas and kind of picking him out, you know, I kind of even mentioned it, taking on a kid like this Bennett, coming out of that band camp, that Cincinnati, you know, that Ohio, the entire Ohio region right now, man, they're pumping out fighters that are coming out very crafty, very highly skilled, and obviously Vargas having more of that Mexican style. This is a good testament of actually putting him in the fight. You know, it's around that perfect, you know, early teen, mid-teen, you know, undefeated versus undefeated fight. This is a good matchup to actually check out. Is this fight going to be on TV?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it will. It's going to be on Showbox. It'll be on Showbox.
Right.
It's under the Deontay Wilder main event, so he'll be the co-main.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so, yeah, he's, you know, it's not going to be his first time. His last time out, well, actually, he had fought in Mexico just recently. He was supposed to fight it, if you guys probably know, he was going to fight May 3rd in Vegas. He was going to be the main event against Hoya at the, the Cosmopolitan. But, you know, things happened that were, you know, out of our control with the other camp. The fight fell through that same day, or the same week of the fight. So the kid, Brandon Bennett, was available that night. He was going to fight that same night, Friday night, and they wanted to pit Bennett against my kid Vargas. Bennett is a southpaw, and we weren't ready for a southpaw. He was training to fight a Guiniga, orthodox fighter. So we already had a little running with him, and the good thing is now we know more about the kid. He is, since he is a hotbed of boxing right now, and this kid is savvy. They call him the untouchable. It's a good test for Vargas. I think it's a great time for both kids. Both kids are coming up, great prospects, and I believe Vargas is at a point right now in his career where he needs a test like this. And I believe, wholeheartedly that he's going to come out victorious.
You know, I agree with you. He's going to need those rounds, especially in a fight like this. I mean, he's hasn't been necessarily going deep into troubled waters in recent fights, and I agree with you on that. This is exactly what you expect out of a Showbox card. That's great, man. That's some good matchmaking on Golden Boy's part. Let me ask you, how did you get that? How did you get in touch with this kid? How did you get affiliated with Francisco and actually doing this? Obviously, being the brother of famed Oscar De La Hoya. What made you actually get behind this kid, and what do you see in him?
Well, you know what? When you're in the business, I mean, I've been around boxing all my life, pretty much. My grandfather used to fight cousins and uncles, and obviously, my brother's career. I kind of delved in it a little bit, and we've just been in it, all our lives, and you're in it. People know you, and once my brother got his promotional, company going on, up and running, I would get calls left and right from fighters to managers to fathers to just people interested in getting the kids showcased or getting their kids signed with someone, and he was one of the kids from a list of many that I was looking into, and I saw his accolades, great amateur background first of all, and that was intriguing to me. 9-time national champion, that says a lot for itself right there. And one of the guys, a local trainer from East LA, Rodrigo Mosquera, he trains out of the same gym that I started off, and my brother started off at. Used to be called the Ayúdate. It's now the Eddie Heredia gym. He used to train him back in the amateurs for a second, and he told me about him. And then I saw some video, and wow, I loved what I saw. I mean, he was raw, and he still is a little bit, but he's a little more refined right now than when I first met him. But
you know what?
That body punching was just phenomenal. I just loved his body punching and his work ethic. I love his work ethic. First of all, that's what I love about the kid.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Right now, we actually got him on the line here. So if you want to stay on with us, Joel, I appreciate it.
Great.
Okay, fantastic.
Awesome.
And then, Andy, you still there?
I'm still here.
All right, man. Let's do this.
Right.
All right, let's welcome Francisco Vargas to the show.
Hola, Francisco Vargas, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien.
All right, first off, thank you for taking our phone call with us. We do appreciate it. I know we do a late show. Real quick here, if we can, I'd like to talk about your next fight, your next opponent here, in Bennett. Talk to us a little bit about what you see in this kid, what kind of type of threat do you see in him, and what are your expectations for this fight coming up?
Bienvenido para estar con nosotros en este show. Y primeramente le queremos preguntar qué piensa del oponente con su rival. ¿Lo ve como alguien peligroso? ¿Cómo ve que va a venir para esta pelea?
Bueno, pues pienso que es un rival muy completo, es rápido y pues va a ser una pelea dura, pero pues me estoy preparando bien, sé que voy a estar listo para la pelea y pues en mi mente siempre cuando subo al ring es ganar.
He says that he sees his rival as a complete fighter that's very fast. He knows he's going to come prepared. He knows it's a tough fight, but he's trained very well for this fight, and he knows it's going to be a very good fight.
Nice. Now, talk to me a little bit about some of his training background. Where does he train out of? How often does he come up to the States for training? Does he see a difference between, training in Mexico and training in the States, if he does so?
Si nos puede platicar un poco de su entrenamiento, con quién entrena ahorita, qué tan frecuente viene a Estados Unidos para entrenar, qué tipo de régimen, qué tipo de cosas hace para entrenar.
Sí, bueno, pues normalmente entreno allá en Los Ángeles, pero esta vez estoy entrenando aquí en México. Ahorita estoy en las montañas, estoy concentrado en un lugar muy cercano del centro ceremonial Otomí y está a una altura de 3.200 metros sobre el nivel del mar. Entonces está muy alto aquí.
He says usually he trains in LA, but right now he's training in Mexico City. He's training in Mexico. He's training at a training center called Otomí, which is up in the mountains at 3,200 meters above sea level. So he's really getting prepared for this.
Nice. Ask him if we can here. Does he feel like this is the biggest test of his career at this point? And if so, what does that say, if he's able to, knock this kid out? Or on the flip side, if he ends up going a distance with this, should we as fans take either one of those as to say something about his fighting ability?
¿Cómo ve la pelea? Si piensa que va a poder noquear a su rival, o si piensa que si va a la distancia que la gente como aficionados que van a ver una pelea muy buena. ¿Qué es lo que usted piensa?
Bueno, pues yo voy a salir a proponer la pelea, voy a presionar y pues yo quiero ganar, no me importa si es por nocaut o por decisión, pero voy a trabajar, estoy trabajando aquí duro con el entrenador de acá de México y pues estamos trabajando eso, trabajando con zurdos y todo bien para estar listos para ese día.
He says he's training very hard right now. He's training with the trainer in Mexico. He says whether it's a knockout or goes the distance, he's preparing himself for the win. He's training himself very hard, and he's going out. He wants to win very badly.
I got to give my co-host a couple of questions in real quick, but let me ask him. When I look at him at lightweight, I mean, he's kind of a big kid. I mean, how high does he think he can get up there in weight? You know, when it's all said and done. I mean, right now, obviously, where he's starting out, you know, this is where it seems natural and fit, but he has to know he's going to eventually be going up. How high does he see himself fighting by the end of his career?
¿Qué piensa para ser ligero? Piensa que eres un boxeador bastante grande para su peso. ¿Que en qué peso piensa usted que va a terminar ya cuando su carrera ya llegue a su etapa, a su mero etapa? ¿Qué peso cree?
Pues yo pienso que en las 140 libras es hasta donde voy a llegar.
He thinks that he'll probably get to welterweight, 140 pounds. He thinks that's probably where his weight will probably plateau at.
Nice. Now, Ron, real quick here, if you got a question or two for Francisco Vargas, man, now's the time to do it.
All right. Well, a couple of quick questions. First off, thanks for coming on. And then it looks like he's been a really active fighter. Really only since 2010. Got quite a few fights under his belt. This fight coming up, is that going to be a 6-rounder, or how many rounds is that going to be? Or do they know yet?
Para su edad, que han visto que han estado has peleado mucho, que siguiente pelea que va a tener, ¿en cuántos rounds va a pelear? ¿Cuántos rounds va a hacer?
Es a 10 rounds, me parece que es a 10 rounds.
He says 10 rounds.
Wow, 10 rounders, okay. And then how many times do you think he's going to fight, or ask him how many times do you think he's going to fight this year compared to the pace that he's been on? It's like astonishing pace. I mean, it's amazing.
Que se ve que has peleado mucho este año y has peleado mucho recientemente. Que ¿cuántas peleas más cree que va a tener antes de que termine el año?
Pues yo espero que esta y otras 2 más.
He feels that he's going to have this one and then possibly 2 more.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
Well, cool.
Let me ask you. Knowing that this fight's going to be on Showbox, that's definitely going to be a step up for you. Coming onto American television. This is kind of your debut in a sense. The masses are going to be able to see you. Is there any build-up right now when it comes to nervousness? I know you're going to say no to that, but what does it mean at this point to get this opportunity?
Que sabiendo que va a ser su primera pelea en Showbox, ¿qué se siente? ¿Se siente algo de nervios? ¿Qué es lo que siente para esta primera pelea, para que la gente te vea la primera vez en un nivel así de Showbox?
Bueno, pues yo estoy contento, emocionado. Es lo que quiero, pelear en la televisión para pues tener buena paga y pues estar bien.
He says that's what he's looking forward to. He's excited about being on Showtime, on Showbox, and this is what he's always worked for. He wants to really get to this level and prove to everybody what he's got.
Nice. Good answer. I can tell you right now, I'm excited to see it, and anytime boxing goes down to Fantasy Springs, man, it's always a great crowd. They got a great fan base out there, definitely supporting the likes of Randy Caballero as well. Joel, by any chance, I haven't looked at that fight schedule, but I can only assume that Randy's going to be on that card. No, or maybe? You don't know?
No, he's not. No. From what I know. Hey, Francisco, ¿qué pasó? Ya vete a dormir.
¿Qué onda, Joel? No me dejes dormir.
¿Qué andas haciendo? Ya vete a dormir, hijo. No, aquí ando escuchando. Listen, Randy is going to be fighting, what is the date? I believe it's, when is it, next week, I believe. I think there's a show coming up soon. It was a card where, it's next week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Frankie Gomez was supposed to fight against Daryl Coley. I mean,
No.
Chop Corley, yeah.
Yeah, and that bowed out to the I hear you on that.
So Randy is the main now. He got moved up to the main event for that fight.
Nice. Should be nice. Listen, we're up against the wall with our next interview, but I know that there's a lot of push behind Vargas going on here, and I know that they're going to be doing a media event over at the Indio Boys Club Center out there, so it should be nice. There's going to be more details on that as well. I appreciate you guys coming on. Joel, anytime, man, if you got the time, you got more than welcome to come on to the show. Let us know about any other fighters that you have coming up or anything else. All things Golden Boy, man, give us a call. We would love to have you on with that. And then Francisco, man, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Overall, I think you're one of these guys that you're going to make your debut, and a lot more people are going to know your name. And at that point, we're going to start hearing that kind of build. It's just going to snowball effect. So I'm glad that we got you on. We got to see, hear from you first. I'd like to have you on again after the fight, kind of go through a little bit more about the history of how you got into boxing and whatnot. But unfortunately, we're up against the wall with our next interview. But I don't know, Andy, if you can kind of translate that for us.
Pues muchas gracias por estar con nosotros esta noche, que le agradecemos mucho que hagas la entrevista. Y vemos cosas grandes para ti en el futuro, y le deseamos lo mejor en su pelea y su futuro.
Muchas gracias, y un saludo a todos. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
All right, and you can follow Francisco at Francisco Vargas Boxer on Facebook. And big ups to Emily Pandalakis, man, for getting us this interview, man. It's nice to actually get young face out there. Nice to have a nice Olympian come on the show, man. It always feels good to have that happen.
All right, guys.
Hey, Joel, are you still on?
Yeah.
How can we? You're on Twitter. How can we get a hold of you and follow you?
I am at JDLH Management, or that would be my email, JDLH Management at charter.net, or Touch 'em Up. At Touch 'em Up is my Twitter account.
All right. Well, cool, man. And thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime. Thanks for giving Vargas some airtime, man. Really appreciate that.
Anytime, man. It's nice to get a good kid out there, man, with entertaining fighting style. Showcase him a little bit, because I didn't know it was on Showbox. Now that I know it's on Showbox, yeah, I'm real interested on this, man. And I know the name Bennett. I haven't seen it, but knowing Bennett's pedigree, man, it's gonna be a hell of a fight, man.
Yeah. He's one of those kids that that's coming up, that's working his way up the ranks, and he wants something to prove. He wants to show the people that he's just not another Cincy kid. He wants to come out here and prove everybody wrong. But Vargas is trying to do the same thing. So it makes for a great fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be real good. It's gonna be a
all right,
good
guys.
fight, man. Yeah,
Thank you, man. You guys have a good night.
You too.
All right. Thanks a lot.
You got it. Thank you.